Millennials, labeled as sensitive, soft little snowflakes who pay too much attention to their smartphones.
We just drive to California.
Hiking with millennials is just like hiking with anyone else. You just might see a lot more selfies.
Say the things they should have told.
What if I told you that those selfies and smartphones could be promoting outdoor engagement rather than preventing it?
And all that's left can just stay black.
Does the future involvement with county, state, and national parks depend on social media in the millennial generation? Or will park attendance fall as new generations appear?
All I'm waiting for is you.
That's right.
Wait, who had
We're at the lava tubes at Snow Canyon.
I got mine.
Going in?
Going in.
I left mine down there.
That's tight hat. All right, good job. We all made it.
Lava used to be here. And when the lava goes underground, it's so hot that it makes tubes, and the tubes stay. And that's where we are.
We got quite a few peeps crawling down.
What's it like down here?
It's cold, it's dark, and I have to wee. There's not a single sound from the outside. You can't hear anything. We can't even hear our own echo. It's kind of weird. Because I think the space is big enough where the noise just doesn't travel. So yeah, it's really quiet. If we turn all the lights off, it's just almost complete sensory deprivation. It's pretty cool. When I came to college in Arizona, I started hiking just for fun, just because there's so many good spots to hike here. And sort of along with that came photography, because I ended up with really good photos on my iPhone. And then from there, they just got better, and I realized I needed a better camera. So then I got really into photography, and now that's one of my biggest hobbies. We're at Zion. It's the best.
National park, are big icons, right? People go there once in a lifetime. How many times you go to Yosemite? Probably a couple of times. But that's not gonna help solve the puzzle we are talking about. The puzzle we have is we are not connected with the nature anymore, or we are less connected with the nature, or the millennials are even less connected. So how you increase that connection?
I think for the national parks, it's $30 to get in for the entire week, so that pass will last for 7 days. And so I think when younger people see those prices, it's like I have to pay to be outside. I can be outside anywhere.
I think our generation and the millennial generation, they are busier than the previous generations. They are occupied with their work, their study, their leisure. At home, that's one of the issues, and that travel adds up, right? Travel, if you need to travel 3 hours to hike to a place, that is a barrier.
I think one good way to get people to go out to parks, and particularly with our generation, is for them to have a personal connection with the park. For example, at Bear Creek Lake Park, a lot of the rangers have their own Twitter accounts, so they'll post, if we drive by a deer, we'll take a picture of the deer, post it on the Twitter account. just so people can see it and get more interested in the park.
Yeah, I think some people fall into the frame of mind where it's like, oh, I'm not good at hiking, I'm not outdoorsy, like why would I do that? It's gonna be hot.
I talked to a few millennials, and they said, seeing friends, yoga pose in outdoor would, make them go to outdoor more often. And we were just asking them, what kind of advertisement would be more powerful, and they say having a celebrity in the park would be more powerful than other advertisement.
Wow. That's pretty gnarly.
We asked them how do they get information about parks and their activities, and if they see some of their friends doing something fun, they would more likely to do those activities than seeing other advertisements. So it's definitely, social media is very, very powerful to bring them to outdoor.
Well, if I saw this on Instagram or something, it would definitely make me want to come here. Because I think a lot of people don't know like the little spots like this, the little detailed spots. And you don't get to see them unless you look for it. But I like taking photos here just because it's just something you can't possibly see every day unless you live here. When you're coming here by yourself, it's kind of the more natural adventure where you just sort of pick a spot and go to it. And that's what I like about traveling and doing little adventures at my age, because I can drive myself there.
We trace our steps into the cliff, down where the water sweat. Take my hand, it's all I have to give. We're the waiter, and in a way, oh, if I can't control.
I think it's important for people of all ages to get out and go to parks, because with increasing urbanization, it's just going to lead to more and more children growing up without ever coming into contact with nature on their own. And that's just going to have cascading effects for future generations.
I think engagement in social media is probably the #1 thing that would get millennials to attend national parks. Just because seeing photos and having connections through hashtags and geotags and stuff like that. I think that would be huge, because everyone's on Instagram. Even if you're not outdoorsy or you're not really into that kind of thing, you're still going to see it. So if that starts trending and you see a lot of people are doing like hashtag national parks or something like that, it might get more people who normally wouldn't go to the parks to give it a shot.
National parks are experiencing record high visitation numbers. But if you look at it on a per capita basis, it's actually been decreasing from a high in 1994. So are the new social media tools better at getting people to go to parks? I don't think it's clear.
It's weird because it's hard to find stuff that stands out in the terrain, because a lot of it is the same. So it might be one of the spots that's better to just look at with your eyes. I haven't really gotten many standout photos.
What we do with social media is like I said, we show them what is out there that they could be experiencing. And one of the unique trends right now for the tourism and travel industry is that millennials are really starting to pay more attention to camping, RVs, RV purchases are really going to the millennials right now, and same thing with campgrounds. They're the ones who are hitting campgrounds more often and more frequently, and then for longer periods of time.
Millennials are different. Millennials are different from the previous generation Xers and baby boomers. The reason is they were born with computers.
I don't really think it's a bad thing if you bring your phone or try to capture things on social media. It's not like you're ruining the experience, as long as it's not too much and you know when to put your phone away and just enjoy it, because I think that's part of the balance.
I'm just really hoping I get to pet an elk with my hands out like this.
We are going to hike a little bit in the Grand Canyon right now, today. And we'll see how far we want to go. We're probably going to go down Bright Angel though, because it's the trail that we're at right now on the South Rim. And we might head to Indian Gardens and stop there. We'll see how far down it is and how my ankle's feeling. And then, so we'll probably take a couple shots on my phone, but I'm not super into like taking pictures while I'm hiking. I like enjoying it and just like being present. But I'll probably snap a few while we're down there.
It was fun. I didn't think I was going to be able to be back in the Grand Canyon because I had just gotten a boot off from fracturing my ankle. And I was going to do a rim-to-rim hike again with my grandfather this year, but because I had fractured my ankle, we decided not to go. And so I was like, oh, that's sad. I'll not get to do my trip to the Grand Canyon this year. But then we went, and it was cool to be able to go back and see it from the opposite side.
We are looking at hiking down here to Indian Gardens. It's that bunch of trees. And that's about 4.5 miles. It's like 6 to 9 hours depending on how fast or slow you are. So we'll probably be like around 6 hours there and back. Yeah. Feeling good. My ankle feels all right. I'm looking forward to coming out because that doesn't seem to hurt as much. I really like hiking the Grand Canyon because of how quickly like the ecosystem changes. It's really cool to see the different like terrain and how fast like you can literally go through a layer and stand in between them and see the differences, and that's really cool.
Growing number of people, they go to national parks and big parks and monuments just to see that picture, just to see the monument, just to see that point of attraction, not really experiencing the nature. I think that's where the problem is.
When you take a picture, you're taking a picture of something you want to remember. And so you are engaging, maybe not in the traditional sense where you're standing there in silence and soaking it in and just enjoying, but things are changing. And when I go places, I want to take pictures, and sometimes I have thought to myself, am I only taking pictures and not actually experiencing the moment? But a month later, when I'm looking through the pictures, I remember the moment and I remember being there.
Like we'll take the picture, but more than half the time, I don't even share it. It's very rare that I do. And I think that's because like the outdoors for me is kind of more like a sacred place to just like be alone and like be with people that I'm with, and like that's why I go. So to share it on a platform where like everybody can see isn't really the reason for my trip. We're walking into Indian Garden right now.
This is 4.5 miles from the South Rim. We came down Bright Angel Path. This is one of the last water stations until you reach Phantom Ranch. There's one more in between here and Phantom Ranch, but this is the last restroom stop. People can camp out overnight here, but it's really just like a rest stop. It's a popular destination for day hikers, I'd say.
I think that technology, and particularly the way our generation interacts with it, makes it a lot easier to spread information about the parks. You know, we have those Twitter accounts. Colorado Parks and Wildlife has an Instagram account, and they post pictures of parks around the state. So, you know, you're not going to want to go to a park unless you know about the park. And Instagram and Twitter are great ways to get out photos of the parks so that people know what they're going to experience when they go there.
One of the really cool things on our social media is that when somebody asks a question, hey, where is that? Or are the trails difficult? Or when can I go? How late are they open? If we just wait a few minutes or even an hour, everybody always jumps in and answers that. Oh, I was just there this last weekend. It's the most amazing place. So we just really enjoy watching the community come together to share that information on social media. And it's really kind of building that online community that then spreads the word more organically about state parks and what they do and how they can benefit you.
How's the hike going so far?
It's good. I'm glad to be down here. I was getting really tired. I feel rusty, but the hike up is gonna probably suck.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to not spend too much time on your phone when you're in a park. I mean, recording the moment interferes with the moment a lot of times.
I took, I want to say 3 pictures when we were there. The first one was right when we got there to send to my mom to let her know that we made it. And then I took some down, I think I took 1 or 2 down at Indian Gardens, and then one on our way out of this plant that was the light was hitting it. Really cool.
So I had to turn my phone on, wait for it to turn on, unlock it to have access to my phone just to take this picture. But it was pretty. That'll probably go on my Instagram. Not gonna lie. Oh, I should turn it back off.
I think I'm just gonna do a still picture. Oh my gosh. Wow. Everybody's gonna be like, where were you? It's so pretty. I'm gonna be like, stop, you can't go there, it's mine. That's the truth. For me, I've always grown up going outside and doing that, but social media has given me this platform where I can share the things I do, and I think it just motivates me to keep going out and doing that, because I know other people, when I share it on social media, they also are like, I want to do that too. We're in Estes Park in Rocky Mountain National Park, and we're going to see 3 waterfalls, which are the premier waterfalls in the park. That's what the ranger said. I haven't been to Estes in 5 years, so it looks pretty much the same as it did, but there's a lot more new growth, and everything's really green right now, so it's pretty. We got caught in a downpour. It's pretty bad, as you can tell by my hair. We're all soaked in flat. It was fun though to run away from it. There was a big flash of lightning and a big boom of thunder. So we decided to head back because it was scary, and then it started downpouring. So it was a good choice, but now it's not raining at all, so oh well. Yeah, millennials and social media use is definitely something that's like critiqued by people, older people usually. And yes, it's true, we're always on our phone, but we're always like connecting with the world around us through our phone, and I think that's something most people of the older generation don't notice.
If younger people are going to the parks and they're taking pictures and then they're leaving, but they're posting that picture and then their friend says, that looks really cool, I want to go, and that friend maybe spends 15 more minutes in the park because he or she found something more interesting, or they went to a different section of the park so that they could take a different kind of picture. We're getting people to experience places and things that they may not have otherwise experienced, so I'm in no way going to judge them for how much time they spend there or what they want to do.
Ooh. Oh, this is pretty. Well, today we're hiking Bear Lake to start, and I think we're gonna go onto Dream Lake next and maybe a few of the other lakes in this little hiking loop. We came out earlier today, so we left at like 7. And last time we left at like 2 in the afternoon. Today it's like 56, might get up to 60, 62-ish. I don't know, we'll probably break a sweat walking, honestly, with the sun.
Many park users, they are window tourists. They don't even get off the car, right?
It's not ideal. There's a lot of stuff to see out there, and people don't necessarily have the time to go on a week-long backpacking trip or go fishing all day and really experience nature. But it's better than nothing, and from a management perspective, cars are a lot easier to manage than people on foot or on bikes.
Okay, I took a lot.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Digital is wonderful.
Yeah, have a good hike. There are certain people that, like, if you're just behind your phone, like, going around like this the whole time, obviously you're not seeing, like, the whole picture. But for, like, the average person, when we're exploring or, like, seeing something beautiful, we're like, oh my god, this is really cool. Let me whip out my phone and take a quick picture. Then I'm going to go back and keep on going on this hike. There is a family of elk here. There's a little baby. That was really cute. Sorry, I can't help that voice. It just happened. We're pals now. We're BFFs. Look at it. Everybody's taking pictures on their cameras, with their phones. He's really close to the trail, so I feel like I'm in the middle of everybody. Is everyone looking at me? What's going on? Honestly, it's just like breathtaking. You can't really describe it because it's so beautiful. It's just magical, honestly. I could sit here for a while.
You know, my biggest concern is how people are disconnecting from the nature. I think that's, big question we have in front of us, this generation.
We got to see some great views. I shared that. Then we got to another lake, shared that. A third lake, shared that. Like, I don't know. It was just another thing, one after another, where I wanted to share it.
Especially if you live in the western United States, you live in one of the most beautiful, well-protected, well-preserved areas in the world. And we're super lucky.
I think people have to experience engagement to understand what they're missing out on when they're just like going to a park and paying to see it and then leaving.
If I see people having fun like rafting, I'm gonna get my family together and we're gonna go rafting. Or if I see a beautiful hike, I'm gonna go there and experience it myself.
As long as they're there and they're engaging in whatever way they feel is valuable to them, that's great.
then we can all go together and have fun.
People enjoy playing video games, watching YouTube and all sorts of things, but just turning out these technology and enjoying outdoor for a moment would be a lifetime memory and lifetime experience.
Tonight I'm just kind of enjoying the view. I'm not really worrying about getting photos or anything. I got what I needed, so tonight I'm just focusing on enjoying it and taking my time. I think it's a good thing to do. If there's a moment that you can find where it feels better to just enjoy it, and all the photos are going to look the same anyway, so in those moments it's good to just put everything away and enjoy it for yourself, because sometimes your eyes are a lot better than the camera. So that's kind of what tonight is like. We already saw the sunset, so we're just going to enjoy it from now on.
And in a way, oh, if I can't control